The internet is not real. It's entertainment. That's all it is. Though it feels real, and it has felt real to a lot of people, especially in the last 15 years that grew up on it, last 15, 20, it isn't reality. It's not what's actually true and what's really going on in the world. It's an entertainment system that is built to hold your attention so that rich people who own the internet or own large, successful entertainment sections of the internet, it's so that they can get billions of dollars off of your attention and your data. That's the internet. That's what it is. And it's not what it used to be. It actually started out a lot more fun than that. I remember, going to GeoCities and playing around with HTML and, doing fun stuff. And there was millions of websites and weird places you can go like Consumption Junction and all these bizarre websites. It ain't like that anymore. It was monopolized and consolidated by 5 to 8 corporations that own the vast majority of the entertainment sections that people go to on the internet. And yeah, the internet can be used for services like Amazon, but it's mostly used for entertainment purposes now. Whether it's Netflix or whether you're watching a movie, long-form entertainment, whether it's short-term entertainment or YouTubing like what I'm doing right now, or whether it's social media where you're just scrolling reel after reel after reel or reading comments, or it's a device that is an entertainment device that's there to amuse you, captivate you, and monopolize your attention. But everything that's on the internet is filtered, it's edited, it's optimized, and it's not for truth. They're not editing for truth. They're not optimizing for truth. They're optimizing for clicks, for engagement, for your attention. And they're lying to you. Literally, the vast majority of people are lying to you. I don't care what politics you believe in. I don't care what the vast majority of people on the internet are telling you what you want to hear or trying to create a fear, a paranoia, something to hook you. It's incentive driven. Do you understand that? Like this idea, the mainstream media, CNN and Fox News and all these the CNN, MSNBC, and, it's all mainstream media. No, dude. The internet is mainstream media. The internet is mainstream media. Something posted on X. Facebook, Elon Musk owns X. Elon Musk can make a statement on X that's not true, and 200 million people will see that statement in like 48 hours. Do you have any idea how long it would take CNN to reach 200 million people? They only have like 500,000 people watching them on a consistent basis. Okay? It would take forever for them to run a story to get 200 million people to see the narrative they're pushing. Not Elon Musk. He can make one post. So don't tell me that CNN is mainstream media. You are mainstream media. You go on the internet and you make a story or you say something, whether it's true or not, you capture a clip, a footage, something, a meme, you do something and it goes viral. Your viral post will get more attention than anything the CNN or Fox News will put out. And part of solving this problem is to stop acting like they're still the powers that be. They're not. They're not. You're under this impression that money and billion-dollar companies or whatever are where all the power's at, but it's not. Algorithms are where the power is at. And who controls those? People get paid on the internet well for attention. Whether they're using TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, it doesn't matter what the platform is. They're paid well for attention. And outrage spreads a lot faster than facts. And I've tried to hammer this home in many of my other videos, but I decided to make a video about this because it's just so important for people to understand this, that the calm truth does not perform well with algorithms. Facts and bullet points do not do well with algorithms. Extreme narratives win, being the most extreme in one direction or the other. And that's where the radicalization comes from. That's where the polarization comes from. You know, a lot of people want to blame Trump. Some people wanted to blame Obama. Some people want to blame one political party or another. Some people want to blame corporations. And I guess you would be right to blame certain corporations, especially the ones that benefit from mechanisms that they install on these apps to make sure that people are only fed information that they agree with. They're profiting off of that. And that probably should be who you should be targeting your anger at, because that is what is driving all of the polarization. It's not Trump, it's not Obama, it's not presidential candidates, it's not politicians, it's not anybody like that. It's not anybody like that. They just are playing, they are just playing along with a system that is somebody else's design. They're working within it and trying to make the system that's already there, the profiteering that's already there, incentivize them. But if you're paid for clicks, you're going to do whatever is going to get you clicks, whatever's going to get you engagement. You're not going to say what's true or what's accurate. So for you to be like, well, the people at the top, you know, it's consolidated power at the top and they have all this money and, like, you know, these big news agencies, and they just tell people, you know, lies. And it's like, okay, well, if they're lying, if they're withholding information, they're doing it for one reason and one reason only. Advertisers. They don't want to piss their advertisers off. They don't want to make their advertisers angry. That's why. That's why. That's solely the reason. It isn't because there's some all-seeing, you know, cabal that's telling them what to say and what to do and, you know, what narrative to push on the people. No, it's profit. They're worried about their money going down. So in other words, if you're a news agency and you find out, let's say hypothetically, that that Pfizer, you know, maybe there's something wrong with some vaccine they made or some kind of something, are you going to run that story? Knowing that Pfizer buys the vast majority of your ad blocks to sell medicines and pills? No. Because you're worried about losing your biggest advertiser. Capitalism is behind those decisions. Incentive is behind those decisions. And anybody who doesn't understand that is lost. You making it about your emotions and social nonsense and all this stuff, you're just lost. You don't understand the incentive-driven system that we live in. And they're no different than people in social media because they're doing the same thing. They're doing the exact same thing. People on social media are just trying to appeal to a market and say what their market knows. Even if they have a differing opinion, before they come out loud about it, they say to themselves, should I say this? Would my base be upset if I said this? Could I lose a lot of my fans if I said this? I mean, even now, we see people like Asmongold walking back slowly, albeit, on some of the crap he was saying before his dad died. When his dad was alive, he felt some sort of pressure because his dad was a right-winger. So he felt some sort of pressure where he felt like he had to, you know, I mean, there was times when he'd be saying something very true about historical facts, and his dad would call the show mid-live while he was like live on YouTube, and he would like roast him for saying this stuff. And you know, so he was placating his dad, and now that his dad's gone, he is now, you know, choosing to say things that are walking back on that crap. But he's doing it so carefully and so slowly because he knows he has to edge his base. He can't just come out one day and go, hey, by the way, all this crap I said before, it's not true. This is how I feel, because half his audience would stop following him. They don't care about anything other than their target demographic and appealing to it and selling the narrative that they know they want to hear. Social media algorithms are doing the same thing. They know what are your beliefs? What do you already believe? What do you already think? I'm going to keep feeding you that narrative. I'm not going to let you see the other side. I'm not going to let you know what's accurate and true. I'm just going to rage bait you with stuff that I know you'll be upset about or stuff that will feed the way that I know you already think so that you'll engage and we'll get paid. And this is causing dramatic polarization, radicalization, on insane levels. These algorithms, they learn your emotions. They learn what you feel and what you think. They feed you what you already agree with. It's confirmation bias to the nth level. And your curiosity shrinks because you're no longer seeing the world anymore. You're seeing a personalized loop of the reality that your mind and emotions have created for yourself. And this doesn't just this goes well beyond America. This is a world global problem. These systems have been used to destroy, nations, third world countries, tear them apart, propagandize them. I mean, this is bad stuff. And everyone is glued to their phones for a reason. You're glued to your phones for a reason. You can't put the phone down for a reason. It was designed that way to be addictive so that you infinitely scroll, so that you get instant validation, so that your endorphins fire and you get dopamine rushes from things you're seeing over and over again. Constant stimulation, no natural stopping point. You can't even sleep at night. This isn't accidental. It's on purpose. Because the companies that designed it that way want to make money off of your attention and your data. It's designed to be addictive, and so are the apps you're using. Because they want to make money off of your attention and your data. This has happened before with radio and television. People thought that radio was real. Well, War of the Worlds, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Orson Welles. People panicked because they thought what they were listening to was a true news story about aliens attacking the Earth. There was a time when people actually thought that what they were hearing on the radio was reality. It took years for them to realize that that wasn't the case. Same thing happened with television. Every new medium feels real until people learn how it works and then start to understand, oh, we have to compartmentalize what's going on over here because this is not reality. This is entertainment. This is a thing that is separate from the real world. But to get people hooked in the beginning with both of those things, they didn't want to immediately define that. The companies that sold radios, the companies that sold TVs, the networks that broadcasted, the radio stations that broadcasted, they benefited from people thinking what they were hearing was real until it caused chaos. But they didn't stop the chaos. They didn't come out and say, hey, let's stop the chaos. People just naturally, generationally, over time, began to realize this isn't real, it's entertainment. And once that was established, there was a compartmentalization, a separation between radio and real life, television and real life. And now what I'm saying is that there needs to be a separation between internet and real life. That's what I'm saying. Because the internet is the new TV, but stronger. Because TVs had schedules. The internet never turns off. TV was shared. The internet is personal. And not that, people still didn't choose to sit in front of the TV all day. I remember when I was a kid hearing all the time, 40 years ago, that people would just be complaining all the time that, oh, that person just, all they do is watch TV. They just sit in front of, the TV to let it rot their brain. Watching TV all day will rot your brain. It's the same thing. Internet will rot your brain. You're consuming entertainment all day long that is painting a fictional world that is not reality. It follows you everywhere, the internet. It's not like the TV where you could leave. You have that phone in your fucking pocket everywhere you go. You have that phone on your hip everywhere you go. You sit down with family, you sit down with friends, you're on your phone. You're walking down the street, you're on your phone. Half of you are walking right in front of fucking traffic, looking at your phone, almost about to get killed. Have no idea because you're on the phone. And AI is about to be a real game changer because now it's going to break the last line between real and fake. Now, when you hear a song, you don't even know if that's a real song that somebody actually made. You don't know. You don't know if the video you watched is fake or if it's a deep fake or if, they could have celebrities real as hell, real as television, walking out, doing something bad, punching somebody in public, committing crime. They can literally anything. Voices can be faked. Images can be faked. Soon you won't even be able to tell what actually happened and what didn't on the internet. The only way to know what's real is to go outside. That's where reality is. Outside. Walking around and interacting with people, and I feel like there's a serious problem with individuals having a disassociation because I feel like people are so consuming internet so often that when they have to put it down and then deal with reality, it's almost odd to them. It's almost strange because it's like, oh my God, wait, people, real life, wait, outdoors, wait, reality. You have to have real conversations with people. You have to have real communities. You have to belong to real communities. You have to go and find out real data. Get access to real data. You want to know how to get it? Not on the internet. Real data is given to you. Well, you can use the internet to get it, but not through social media and entertainment forums. There's a way to use the internet to be able to reach out to legitimate companies and sources, scientific labs at colleges, places where there's real data that exist that you can download and look and see and get the stats and information that actually are true from studies that have been broadly done. I mean, even the consequences aren't real anymore. People go on the internet and they talk so much nonsense. I just had a guy yesterday just talking all this crap to me, just saying all this stuff about he didn't like, my views on certain things, and he just started running his mouth. He's going to beat me up and this and that. I mean, come on, dude. What are you talking about? This is the internet. I heard it explained to me once like this, and I don't want to take credit for this idea, but this was the best I ever heard it put. Imagine going to a theater show, Broadway, and a woman on the stage is pretending to be a murderer. And she goes over on the stage. She's an actress doing a theatrical play, and she pretend stabs the other actor in the scene. And then you walk outside after the show and you meet the actress and you say, yeah, you wouldn't do that in real life. Of course you wouldn't do that in real life. She wouldn't. I mean, she's an actress. She was pretending. That's the internet. Everybody's pretending. Pretending what their lives are like, pretending what their relationships are like, pretending that they're tough, pretending that they're bad. It's image creation, marketing. Everybody's marketing a brand of themselves. It's an illusion. It's a fucking lie. None of it is real. Do you understand? It's all bullshit. All of it. And you're just consuming lies and bullshit and propaganda and people lying to you about who they are and telling you what they think that they don't even really think, but they know that's what you want to hear. And everyone's trying to profit. That's it. And then, of course, the platforms, they sell ads. I know. I own an advertisement company. That's the way I make the bulk of my money. I know how advertisement works. And when we sell ads, we don't care about anything but making money. And that's the truth. And if I feel like, something detrimental can hurt my ad revenue, I'm going to shut it down. Because it's an incentive-driven system that we exist in. You are the product. Not your phone, not the app, not social media. You. You pay with your time and your belief. The media sells you outrage. And when I say the media, I don't mean fucking ancient legacy news channels that only have 500,000 viewers. I mean big time social media like sites with millions of followers that have way more capability of brainwashing you and telling you stuff you want to hear to make money and sell you outrage. Influencers that sell you narratives. And the younger generations already know this. They do. Gen Z and Gen Alpha is already aware of this. That's the reason why flip phones are coming back. They don't want to be on apps. Digital detox is now a normal thing. Young kids are literally like, no, I don't want to be on any devices or any internet. I need to take time away from that. Good. That's what we need. That's what we need. Irony is protection. You understand what I'm saying? They know it's not real, so they treat it like it's entertainment. And that's exactly what needs to be done, because that's exactly what it is. The internet is made to be turned on, get your entertainment for a moment, and turn it off, just like the television. That's what it's meant to be. Now, I know, being that, I'm on here on YouTube talking to you right now, telling you this, and I know that it directly hurts, I guess I'm working against my own self-interest or whatever by saying this, but I'm not, because I go out of my way to make sure that I am not doing the same thing. I am trying to do everything in my power to be able to give you a message that is not just rife with panic and paranoia and conspiracy and polarized logic. And, I am not looking for asymmetry here. I am trying to give you balance. I've worked very hard to do that, because this is getting so out of control that our leaders are being shaped by the internet. Even they are being propagandized by what they see in algorithms. Algorithms are now controlling the way our leaders think. Really think about that for a moment. They don't even live in reality anymore. We've seen our leaders influenced by TV, like the current administration. And a lot of people have said Trump was very heavily influenced by television. He sat in front of TV his whole life, and he's obsessed with television and ratings and popularity and being on TV. And it's so bad now that he even sent people to Seattle at one point simply because not Seattle, I think it was Portland, Oregon, because of something he saw on Fox that wasn't even true. But he's so influenced by television that he made those decisions based on a media narrative that is used to sell advertisement. Think about that for a minute. Not grounded in truth. Leaders need reality, not screens. They need to know what's really going on in the world, don't you think? So when they start shaping their policy and their decisions based on things they saw on TV or the internet, that's really problematic. If what we have now is a person who's drunk on television narratives, wait 20 years when we have another president who's drunk on internet narratives, because that's coming down the pipeline next. This isn't good. This is not good. Because the real danger is what's going to come down the pipeline. I mean, if everyone is performing for attention, who's actually paying attention to reality? Because everybody's giving all their attention to narratives and propaganda and lies and nonsense and people selling them something that nobody's paying attention to what's true. That's a huge problem. Anyway, my name's Tom Kane. This was another episode of the Executives Playbook. Please go ahead and hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell. And most certainly, if you have any feedback on what I just said, leave a comment. I love you guys.